News Panorama is a TV news magazine program that gives you the story behind the story.
It tells the stories the way they should be told by capturing the larger scale.
It deals with people's deep feelings on issues that, when brought to the fore, ultimately educates, informs and entertains.
News Panorama. Capture the larger scale.
Maintaining a clean and serene environment is crucial for individuals and community well-being, promoting health, reducing stress, and enhance overall quality of life. A clean environment minimizes risk of illness, fosters a sense of calm, and creates a positive atmosphere for living and working. This week on News Panorama, we'll be looking at various aspects of environmental sustainability, especially announcement by the federal government on flooding and its impact on Cross River State. Welcome and thanks for joining me on the program News Panorama. I am Josephine Efanga.
News Panorama. Capture the larger scale.
If you have just tuned in, you're watching News Panorama. The Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NIHSA, has warned that 1,249 communities across 176 local government areas in 33 states and the Federal Capital Territory fall within the high flood risk areas in 2025. The warning was issued during the official presentation of the 2025 Annual Flood Outlook by the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Kutsef, in Abuja. The report.
The federal government has issued a warning that Cross River State is at a high risk of flooding from July to November 2025. This alarming situation is primarily due to rising sea levels and tidal surges, which are expected to worsen this year. Residents are urged to remain vigilant and prepare for potential flooding as the chances of severe weather conditions are increasing. In an interview with some residents of Cross River, there is a strong sentiment that the government should take proactive measures to prevent flooding. Many locals believe that the government should implement better drainage systems, hold community awareness programs, and establish emergency response plans. They feel that taking such steps will help mitigate the impact of the expected tidal surges and protect their homes and livelihoods.
The government can always adjust or can always, the citizens that live in that area can as well write to the government to provide waste bins, because Calabar is developing. Many people are moving in. Areas like 8 miles now, we have people coming in weekly, daily, monthly. The population is increasing. So it's up to the aids of the government on one side and then the citizens to play their own part. They can write to the government that these amenities are not available. The dustbins, we don't have lights, we don't have this, we don't have water. The government can put measures in place by coming to those areas to make those things available.
Because I have been in this Calabar for the past 5 years, you understand? So the way the downfall, it's not even affecting the state due to the slope and the grain of the state. So I'm not thinking that flooding, I cannot say the flooding will not occur. It might occur, but we are not praying for bad things, you understand? Because I have been in the state where by flooding used to be stopped. Like all these northerners, there is some states that are facing a lot of flooding.
However, other residents noted that they have already witnessed how the effect of the flooding in their communities will be following recent heavy rainfall.
We should have something that we dump in our refuse. You understand? As a citizen, and you want the progress of your country or your state or your environment, you have to keep your environment neat and clean by having maybe a container or a basket that you put in your refuse instead of throwing it anyhow or put it in the gutter that will end up blocking the gutter to maybe the water will flow anyhow, enter people's compound to destroy things. So that is what I think that we should do.
The government is an experienced entity, per se, because flooding is one of the natural disasters in Africa, especially in Nigeria. So it's not a new thing to us. So I think one of the solutions is to make sure that the water channels are being drained, like our gutters. You know, our gutters, most of them are channeled to rivers, most of them are channeled to tunnels, ditches and all that. So if those gutters are cleared so that there will be free flow of water, it will help to ameliorate the effect of flooding.
Other individuals expressed concern that without immediate action, the flooding could be more devastating than anticipated. They argue that visible signs of tidal surges during the rainy season serves as a warning and highlights the urgent need for the government to address this looming crisis before it escalates.
A state government, they will try their best to keep all this kind of container for putting all this kind of waste bin and some other thing. Instead of them to just go tactically to that place and keep it inside now, so they will fail to do so. So they will like to pin it behind their houses. So if there is blockage, definitely there is flooding. So maybe you see in environment where you are staying now is a very tiny well beds and some other drainage. Now unlike another advanced state and advanced country that have this kind of big drainage, maybe when the water is coming like this, it will have its way to go direct to the sea.
Okay, if you go to some places, if you want to build a house, you need to call the developer. Then, and anything you are doing, you need to make gutters. You don't use some estates, but they will just block everywhere. There's nowhere water can pass through. Make sure, like if you go to a river area, make sure you create a place like gutter, dam, all those things. Do like cover. Sometimes for road, do like cover bridge so that people will pass and water will pass under.
Meanwhile, the purpose of the warning cannot be overemphasized. It is about proactive measures in safeguarding lives and property while fostering resilience in the face of natural disasters. Blessing Bassey reporting for CRBC News Panorama.
As a champion of women's empowerment and humanitarian causes, Bishop Eyowanutu, the wife of the state governor, has consistently demonstrated her commitment to serving the less privileged. This commitment has over the years been witnessed through her various empowerments of children, women and vulnerable people. The report.
As a champion of women's empowerment and humanitarian causes, Bishop Eyowanutu, the wife of the state governor, has consistently demonstrated her commitment to serving the less privileged. This commitment has over the years been witnessed through various empowerment of children, women, and the vulnerable people. Recently celebrating her 61st birthday in Calabar, the wife of the governor, Bishop Eyowan, highlighted some of her empowerment initiatives executed by her NGO, Humanity Without Borders. Bishop Eyowanutu noted that her NGO was given to her by divine providence for the purpose of touching lives and changing destinies, as can be seen by the various interventions the NGO has undertaken through its pillars, which cut across health, education, agriculture, social welfare, environment, and sports.
Humanity Without Borders is my NGO, which I guess was given to me by divine providence. And in that NGO, my motto is touching lives and changing destinies. And if I say I have to touch life, then I have to touch lives in so many diverse areas. And so in that NGO, I have like 6 pillars. I just recently added the last pillar. But I had 5 areas of intervention, which is health, education, agri, social welfare, environment. And I recently added sports to it, which has bettered the Pelican Stars and of course the soccer or the tournament of the Queen's Cup that we had yesterday. And so far so good. God has been faithful, because through these various pillars or interventions, we've been able to reach out to countless women, youths and children.
In commemoration of her 61st birthday celebration, Bishop Eyowan stated that Humanity Without Borders held the 6th phase of its free medical outreach in Obudu local government area. Emphasizing on the essence of education, the wife of the governor, Bishop Eyowanutu, hinted that over the years the NGO had undergone many educational empowerment and is about to introduce Boys in STEM program to capture and protect the male child in the society.
We've done so many things in education. We have children on scholarship. Recently, I think I have like 36 children who are on scholarship in Access School. 36 of them, everything paid for, to the school, equipping them for school, general boarding school across the state. 36 children, in Access High School. The NGO has paid school fees for I think 30-something medical students who almost dropped out of school last year because they couldn't pay their fees, and we took over and paid for them. And we have so many people on the scholarship in that NGO. Some in the universities, some in the secondary schools. We have some that we are fully paid for to the end of their secondary school session or education.
Through Humanity Without Borders, the First Lady continues to make a lasting impact in the lives of many, embodying her motto of touching lives and changing destinies. Her dedication to humanitarian services is a statement of her commitment to improving the lives of the less privileged and promoting a more equitable society. Eriti Christopher for CRBC Panorama.
As part of efforts to restore the state's former glory, the Cross River State Governor has launched a beautification initiative aimed at transforming Calabar urban landscape. By designating no-trade zone and redeveloping key areas, the government is working to create a cleaner, greener, and more beautiful environment for residents and visitors. Ifeoma Nekpeita completes the story.
The Cross River State Government Beautification Initiative has brought a fresh wave of excitement to Calabar as the city embarks on a journey to reclaim its status as the cleanest and greenest state in Nigeria. The beautification initiative involves the designation of no-trade zones in select areas of Calabar metropolis, where street traders have been relocated and the spaces redeveloped to enhance their aesthetic appeal. The state government, through the Urban and Beautification Agency, has invested significant resources into transforming these areas into vibrant spaces that showcase the state's rich heritage and natural beauty. Some residents describe the effort as notable and remarkable achievement.
First of all, we should say a very big thank you to the governor. Because without the governor, this wouldn't have come to pass. So actually, let's give the governor the credit for doing all this. The present administration have done something, so kudos to them.
Firstly, I would like to give a big shout out to our governor, Prince Otu. Since he came into power, he's been doing well. Especially during the festive periods, he has engaged people in great festive activities. Yes, then precisely concerning the beautification of the environment. Stadium precisely, I feel like it has taken great shape. Like it's better to look at right now because those traders were very scattered, selling at any point where they get any little space. But then now there's a form of coordination. Everything is arranged properly, and I feel like it's going to be a long and beautiful ride if these beautifications and modifications keep happening.
Me concerning the place, the change.
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate the governor. The governor have tried. There's a different compared this place with the past administration. There's a different. And I appreciate that effort. So at least the environment now is attractive for tourists to come and for the vacation. So I appreciate the governor for that.
Meanwhile, others are of the opinion that the state government should also impact more on the citizens' welfare through socio-economic empowerment packages.
I would say the government is really doing well. The street lighting and the traffic lights back up, and I would say that is a very good one. And the only problem I'm still seeing is in the terms of their waste. The waste management is very poor. And I think it would be nice to look into that sector. I think they should provide more waste bins because when a particular waste bin, because in my area they do drop one, and when that one gets filled up, they just litter the whole street with the remaining waste. So I think dropping 2 or 3 more waste bins would help reduce that.
Okay, I want to applaud the governor for beautifying Cross River State as a whole, and I urge him to keep doing that which they already started, for expansion and other things.
The beautification initiative in Calabar represents a significant step towards creating a more sustainable and environmentally conscious city. As the project progresses, it will be interesting to see the impact it has on the local community and the state economy. According to some stakeholders, if carefully implemented and sustained, the initiative could serve as a model for other cities in Nigeria seeking ways to promote sustainable development and environmental conservation. For CRBC News Panorama, I am Ifeoluwa Ekpe-Ita.
Over now to On the Spot with the Commissioner for Environment, Honorable Moses Osuogi. He allays the fears of cross riverians on the recently announced flooding by the federal government. Good morning and welcome to On the Spot of News Panorama with the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Honorable Moses Osuogi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
The federal government had alerted some states, of which Cross River State was among, imminent flooding due to the rise of sea level. So what proactive measures has your office taken immediately to this effect, sir?
Thank you very much for that question. The proactive nature of Cross River State Governor and Minister of Environment, we're always ahead of people. And to answer that question directly, we've started desating since last year, November, December. We continue early part of this year, January, February. We've been doing desating, preempting the situation that this will certainly come in, flooding will come. And if you don't deseed, as the rain comes, as the water comes, it will be stagnated. There will be no movement. They won't have any channel. So the process of desating is to give the water a proper way to go. But whether we like it or not, there are some activities that are being embedded in the environment that are causing this flooding. Probably some people building on water channels, some blocking with their disposal of waste into the drainages. And so by extension, it's going to block the drainages. But we've been preaching, advising people, creating the awareness that don't empty your refuse into the gutters so that the gutters will not be blocked, and when it rains, your place will not be flooded.
Okay, sir, so talking about sensitization, how would you rate your sensitization of flooding across the 18 local government area of Cross River State?
We have people we've been sending to, in fact, we send a team ahead of time. We've been doing town hall meetings. We have a department that are vested, with such a responsibility, going to local government by local government, creating the awareness that these are things you don't do and these are the ones you do, so that when it rains, that we're expecting rains to come, it will not cause problems. There are certain places that we cannot avoid. No matter what you're going to do, the flood will certainly come. And so when this flood comes, this is what you're going to do. There are some areas that the flood is not affecting the buildings. It affects people's farm. And then we advise the people, instead of farming in this area that ordinarily you know that it will be flooded, shift away from there so that you won't cry to government that water has taken away your farms.
So, okay, that comes to my next question. You just talked about farmers. Farmers are the worst hits when it comes to erosion.
Yeah.
So how have you been able to sensitize these people? Because you've mentioned that, okay, you tell them, but what efforts have the government put in place to ensure that even though most of these farmers have not been able to relocate to another place possibly because they don't have other plots of land, what efforts have the government put in place to address this issue?
When new map came on board, we're going around the state, you understand, to check the erosion areas, places that have been engulfed by gully erosion and other activities. Not only that, we even dabble into flooded areas. We take the data that these are areas that have been flooded, and these are things, the measures we're going to do to cushion the effect of flooding in those areas. So that has already been taken care of.
Okay, sir. So is there any known remedy for flooding in terms of solving of the problem of erosion and flooding?
No. If you say that, then that means you want to cheat nature. You can't stop flooding. There's nobody on this planet Earth that will tell you that I am going to stop flooding. Most times we are being threatened by Cameroon Dam, and when they release, even if there are no rains here, so long they have heavy rains in their side, and they decided to open their dam, there is that tendency that we'll have flood in Cross River, some part of Cross River State. So it's something that you cannot avoid. We only have to manage it because it has come to stay with us.
The Ministry of Environment and Ministry of Works work intertwined, because when they are doing this thing, and during rainy season, of course, it's going to affect environment with flooding. So it's not only affecting environment,
it's affecting everybody.
So the essence of asking the question is how your ministry can also partner with them to ensure that, okay, during this period, instead of you causing problem for the environment, let's stay out of construction.
No, the Ministry of Environment does not have the requisite power to stop them from constructing road during the rainy season.
Okay.
They have their rudiments, they know why, maybe probably that's when the monies were approved. And you know, money, you know, governance, it has a process to follow. And so I cannot dabble into that. I think it is the Commissioner for Works that will be able to tell appropriately why they are always constructing road during rainy season.
Okay, sir. So is there any support whatsoever from the federal government in terms for flood victims? Because here and there we have farmers, we have communities affected by flood.
SEMA, NUMA, Cross River State, federal government, they are all collaborating to make sure that those effects are being cushioned. It's a collaboration effort. There are programs on ground.
So how effective is it in Cross River State, sir?
But you can see it for yourself, that Cross River State is in the forefront of trying to mitigate all those measures that are caused by flooding and make sure that the Cross Riverians don't have a devastating effect on them. We are trying our best.
Okay, sir. Then finally, sir, how would you allay the fears of Cross Riverians? Because when this announcement was made on air, so many Cross Riverians panicked. That
there's nothing to panic.
Yeah, so
it has always been, even last year, the same announcement came on board. And we told everybody the only thing you could do to assist government, make sure that your drainages are deceived. You cannot allow or wait for government to do everything. Like most time when we are going for sensitization, we kept telling people, put your drainages, your frontage, your environment clean. Deseed the gutters, will come and do the evacuation. You understand? And most people are doing that, and it's helping. So that's what the role they have to play. Play your own role and allow the rest for government to do.
You've heard the Commissioner for Environment, Honorable Moses Osogi. There is need for cleanliness. Keep your environment clean. Ensure that your gutters are desilted. Just keep it by the side of the gutter and the government would come and evacuate it. Don't panic. Cross River State is safe as always. I am Josephine Efanga. That is all we have on our lineup this week. We hope to be back same time next week. Do keep a date with us. I am Josephine Efanga.